Well, we've all said it. You are what you eat. But what about how about when you eat? That makes a little less sense. Some people are thinking about it, but if you considered about when you eat and how much you eat, there's something to that.
Here to introduce us to the lifestyle of intermittent fasting, please welcome nephrologist Dr. Jason Fung. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for being here because there's so much talk about this now.
Yeah.
What is it? How does it work? And what does that window of fasting look like?
Well, fasting is really any time that you're not eating. So in the past, say in the 60s and 70s, you would eat dinner at 6 o'clock, for example, and you'd eat breakfast maybe at 7 or 8. So you're talking about a 12 or 13-hour fast every single day without even thinking about it. And that's where the English word breakfast comes in, because you have to fast in order to break your fast. And even the French word jeûner is the verb for fasting, so déjeuner is to stop your fast. So it's part of this idea that there's a natural cycle between feeding and fasting. And in the last sort of 20, 30 years, we've talked about, you should eat all the time. The minute you get up, you should eat, and keep eating until you go to bed. But that's not the way we ate in the 60s and the 70s. And guess what? There was very little obesity, and there's very little of the downstream sequelae like type 2 diabetes, which leads to heart disease, kidney disease, strokes, cancer, that sort of thing.
Why is it? What do you think the change has been? Are we eating more because we're eating more often?
There's that. So if you eat more frequently, you tend to eat more overall. But the body really exists in one of two states. It's either in the fed state, which is where you're eating and your body wants to store those calories, or it's in the fasted state, which is where you're not eating and therefore your body must pull those calories back out to use them. So you're either storing calories or you're burning calories, but you don't do both at the same time. So therefore there's a natural balance. And if that balance falls towards feeding, then over time you're going to gain weight. If you want to lose weight, then a very effective way to do that is simply tip the balance towards increasing your fast. And guess what? People say it's this giant fad, but it's been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So it's been in the Bible, it's been in the Quran, Jewish people fast on Yom Kippur, Mormons, etc.
So how long should that fast be to reap the benefits?
Yeah, so really it's flexible. So you can do, say, 12 hours is sort of a normal standard fast if you want to stay in balance, but it may not be enough to make you lose weight. So you can go to 16 hours. So a very popular schedule is a 16-8, where you eat for 8 hours of the day and fast for 16 hours. You could go to a 1 meal a day, which is about a 24-hour fast. So if you eat dinner and you don't eat again until the next dinner, that's a 24-hour fast. And that works very well in a working day, for example. If you skip breakfast and skip lunch and then just eat dinner, then you don't often miss the social benefits and so on. And you can go to even longer, 5 days, 3 days, whatever you want.
Isn't that going against everybody always says you have to have a breakfast to get going in the morning? You've got to have your breakfast to start the day.
Yeah, that's sort of a old wives' tale, because your body actually does that for you. If you look at the circadian rhythm, just before you wake up, your body actually starts to push out this glucose into your blood. So you have this increase in hormones, such as growth hormones. So your body's already pushing the sugar out into the blood to get you ready for the day. So you don't need to put a muffin in your mouth in order to get ready. I mean, that's the reason we don't die in our sleep every night, because our body can store those calories and use them. So all you're doing when you're fasting is you're letting your body use up that sugar or use up the body fat. So if you have type 2 diabetes, you can lower the blood sugars by letting your body naturally burn it off.
How do you ensure you're getting enough calories and the right kind if you're only down to 1 or 2 meals a day?
Your body will tell you. So we have very, very sophisticated mechanisms of hunger and satiety. So your body will tell you that if you are not getting enough calories, then you're going to get hungry. But when you get enough calories, your body's going to stop you from eating. Just like when you go to a all-you-can-eat buffet, you can't keep eating. It's very, very hard to continue eating after you're full. So one of the myths of fasting is that your hunger is just going to get worse and worse. In fact, we see the opposite. So at our clinic, the Toronto Metabolic Clinic and the fastingmethod.com, we've treated thousands of patients, and they all come back and they say, I think my stomach shrank. I can't eat so much. But what's happening is that we've made it easier for their own body to access the stores of calories from their body fat. So we're essentially feeding their body through their body fat, so they don't actually have to eat more. But they're doing it naturally, because those stores of body fat are actually making them sick. They're giving them medical problems.
Really?
I just got one. Can you put yourself into, like, there's concerns with dieting that if you reduce the food intake, You also slow down your metabolism. Therefore, if you go back to eating too much, you'll put weight on quicker. Does that happen with fasting? Do you have to
It's actually the exact opposite. So one of the other big myths is that it decreases your metabolic rate. Now, any weight loss will decrease your metabolic rate, but fasting actually tends to raise it. So if you look at a study where they fasted people for 4 days, and then they measured how many calories they were burning, on day 4, they're actually burning 10% more calories than they were at day 0. And it's a well-known physiological effect, which is that when you don't eat, insulin goes down, but other hormones go up. And that includes the sympathetic nervous system and noradrenaline. So your body's actually increasing your energy levels. And this is a protective mechanism. So imagine we're cavemen and cave women. If you don't eat and your body starts to shut down, you're going to find it harder to get food. So therefore, every day is harder and harder to get food. We would have all died. So your body's just not that stupid. What it does is it switches fuel sources. So it's not decreasing your energy, it's switching to body fat and then pumping it full of energy. So you have more energy to go out. So people are mentally sharper, people have more energy, and then they can go out and hunt that woolly mammoth.
As a continuous grazer over here, this is all fascinating and something to look into. Perhaps sink your teeth into or
Intermittent
not.
fasting is about 8 minutes, 16
Yeah,
minutes?
exactly, at best. Make sure you check out Dr. Jason Fung online at thefastingmethod.com for more. Thank you so much. That was
Thank you.
fascinating.
Thanks very much.